He is the pirate of the ages. He came from the Fire Kingdom, but unfortunately he didn't have any earthbending skills, so he decided to make his way out to a life on the seas. During his life on the seas, he did encounter some people and became a pirate, and is part of a very hardy crew. Along the way, he happened to land on a treasure that gave him a marking on a certain place of his body that led him to where everybody is right now. He does have an eye patch that's covering his right eye, which I am not wearing right now because I'm
Yeah,
eating
where's
lunch.
the eye patch?
Yeah, what
I'm
the
eating-
heck?
I was
I'm
gonna
eating-
ask where.
My immersion.
I'm eating right now. Let me finish eating and then I'll put on the eye patch. It's just
Don't want to get my eye patch
there's gonna
back.
be a challenge of me eating with the eye patch on. I'm just gonna miss my mouth. It's gonna be like
Oh, totally. Yeah, it messes up your depth perception. I get
exactly. You'll see it late shortly, but yes.
it. Sweet.
There we go.
But yeah, and
Found it.
yeah, he currently is watching y'all doing your thing in the background like a awesome pirate that he is.
We'll get the recap. All right, let's go with eeny, meeny, miny, moe. Richard. Takashi, my bad.
Yeah. Yeah, so character's name is Takashi, he's a firebender. He's like, I think I put him like 22 or 24, mid-20s. I think his background was that he was part of like, I tried to do it like part of kind of like a bending like pop group or something, entertainment group.
Oh.
So he was like a former I don't know, what do you call it, like a pop star or like, you know, one of those. And his mark is like, I think behind his neck.
Okay.
And yeah.
All right. Oh, and Lou, sorry to interrupt your eating, or crispy, my bad. What was the relative or what was around the age of your character?
He is in his late 20s. He's probably the oldest of amongst the group.
Oh, what you forgot about our next person.
Oh yeah,
My
he's the
name.
second eldest of the group.
My name is Yuki Tutega. Not much is known about her.
That's
Sometimes,
convenient.
sometimes she doesn't really remember her history, but she is 86 years old. Prior to finding the mysterious mark on the back of her right hand, she had been entangled in a life or death run-in with some guards in the Earth Kingdom. She was like stolen from her tribe when she was a little girl, and her life has been very traumatic. That's why she tries not to remember, but you'll find out in time. And she only speaks in quotes.
I think she sometimes speaks in quotes.
Okay, yeah. I don't think I can do it every sentence.
That'd be very impressive.
She tends to often speak in life quotes, many of which are found on Google, but
What's that?
they're really from the heart. Yeah, we don't know what Google is.
Yeah, what is Google?
All right,
Oh
Michelle.
my God.
All right, my name is
Show yourself.
I am a TJ though, so I can't really. Anyway, my character's name is Neoma. I was born I was originally from. Wait, did I even mention this? Well, I guess I did read my backstory. Anyway, I was originally born within the Northern Water Tribe, and I was brought to the Eastern Air Temple at the age of 2, and then I was trained in the art of airbending. So at the age of 23, I decided to go out in the world, and it's due to the dream of a temple in a small coastal not eastern, but just a coastal Earth kingdom. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, awesome, everybody.
And TJ is Omion.
Yeah.
He's 23, an air nomad. Backstory blank.
Okay.
I think he said he was a dancer or something like that.
He is
Yeah.
a dancer from.
That's right.
Oh, okay. So we got a pop
He uses like
star?
airbending for his dance.
So we have a pop star and we have a dancer.
All right, well, let's go ahead and let's do the recap. It's been a little bit, everybody, of what happened last time.
Been like
So-
2 months.
So, you guys all, here's the recap. You guys all had a vision of that led you to this place, and you guys all woke up with a mark. And if you guys remember, that mark is kind of like a black circle with what looks like tongues of flame kind of around it. And so you guys all met, except for Omion, who came late, on a boat riding into the town of Guangxi. One retcon I'm going to do, though, if you guys may remember, our good friend Earthling.
Yeah.
Now, as Earthling is probably not going to be able to join us very often. Earthling, Earthling, he thought he had a mark similar to you guys. It was just a bruise. He like bumped his head. So he wanted some friends, so he used that as an in for your group. So there was no there was no mark on our friend Earthling. But anyways, so you guys came to this town. You found out there was a festival going on, and you guys found out that this festival was in honor of every 100 years. Well, firstly, there's a temple on this in this town that is home to an artifact blessed by the first avatar, Avatar Wan. And the festival is for every 100 years. A spirit appears in the town, an earth spirit appears in the town, and attempts to take the artifact from the temple back to the spirit world. And it is the duty of the elder family, the oldest family in the village, to battle the spirit to protect the artifact. And so that's what this festival is for. Now, there's a couple things that you guys saw in the festival. A couple of you guys listened to the person tell that story. Yuki, she ran into a young Earth Kingdom boy running through the town constantly with the horn at his hip.
Oh yeah.
She didn't really talk to him, so she doesn't really know his deal. But
Wasn't I like running after him?
yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody was amazed at how you were an old woman such as yourself was able to keep up.
Mhm.
Now Michelle and then a couple of you guys ran into you guys saw a troop of a water tribe putting on a bit of a performance. There were some playing instruments, some drums made of ice. There was one noticeable one playing with white hair and a crown of coral, playing a stringed instrument. And you guys saw there was a performance also put on by them. A couple in a dragon costume battling a water tribe warrior. Now, something you guys noticed about the water tribe, they had very traditional northern water tribe garb, but with golden embellishments on their garb. And so you guys saw all of that. And then after you guys were done in the festival, you guys made your way into the forest leading to the temple. You guys got a little stuck in the forest, and Crispy did not initially come with you guys. He was following at a distance. He eventually got ahead of you guys and helped you guys figure out and make your way through this forest. Now, before you guys got out of the forest, you came into contact with one of the young water tribe troop member that you saw before, the one that had previously been wearing the crown of coral. He seemed young, about probably around the age of 16. Couple things about him. He his breath, as he had chilled breath every time he breathed. You could see the chilled air come out of his mouth, despite the evening being a warm evening, and he talked to you. What he talked about didn't make a whole lot of sense. He talked a lot about fate and destiny. He had that conversation with Omion before he left. And then where you guys ended up, you guys came up to the temple, and at the temple, you were confronted by a young man with a very deep voice, if you remember,
Like 17.
who challenged you guys to a fight and to a competition or test of strength. And our friend Michelle, can you Michelle, can you remind us of your character's name?
Neoma?
Neoma.
Yes.
Just change your name.
Yeah, that would be
It's
great.
Neoma. Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry. Yeah, there you go.
And Neoma was defeated in the test of strength by the young man. But after that happened, where we left off, Crispy, and by the way, Crispy Couture, you guys don't know this, but he was still kind of in the tree line watching from afar with his single eye. And after Michelle was defeated, an older man walked up from behind you and punched and knocked out the young man. And so he turns to you all. And well, first, before we get started, let's just make sure everybody's ready. Neoma, I know you're still working on some extracurricular activities, or I mean,
Yes,
you're still a bit in a bit in a fog of losing your competition.
Yes, I am. I am indeed.
But Crispy, I say we get started whenever
When Crispy's
whenever
back.
Crispy is ready to go. So that is our recap, and we'll go ahead and get started once Crispy returns.
Oh, now I know I can pause the recordings.
No, never mind. We did. He introduced himself. His name is Lee Raulu.
Lee Raulu.
Yeah, here I'll put it.
Oh wait, yeah, spell it.
I'll put it in the chat.
I'll pause it again. Alrighty, recording resumed, and now we have the Eye Patch Man.
Oh, he's muted.
Oh,
I think that was funnier than nobody responded. All right, Crispy, are you prepared? Ready and prepared?
Indeed, I am
Okay,
ready.
so you watch as this this man from the bushes or the tree line, this man comes and knocks this kid out, and all right, and he turns to the oh, and one thing I also didn't mention, one thing I forgot to mention in the recap was just another little detail of when you met the young gentleman, water tribe gentleman in the forest. Yuki noticed, I believe it's Yuki, noticed some spirits around him. There were some spirits kind of sitting, some small forest spirits sitting on his shoulder, seeming very, very comfortable with him. And as he left, Crispy was hiding, but he did seem to notice Crispy, though he didn't do much to acknowledge that Crispy was there. So that was a small thing about him. But we'll go ahead and we'll get started back to where we left off. So this man had come, he just knocked this kid out, and he kind of turns, or he kind of sighs, and he turns to the rest of you and he says, well, I'm sorry about that, guys. He kind of just looks at you all.
It's all right.
hey, that's all right. You just kicked my butt.
Yeah, that was fairly rude of him, I'd say. That's sorry. Let me introduce myself. That's my son Lee. You guys already met him. I'm his father. My name's Don. Don Ralu. I'm the head of the elder family here in Guangxi. And Lee is my son. He's tasked today of battling with the spirit. So I think he's a little over anxious, and he wanted to get a little extra training in before later today. Yeah, and I believe you guys may have possibly met my other son, the one with the horn. Did you guys happen to run into him?
One with the horn?
Mm-hmm. The one
I think
who
Uki
was
did.
running around town with the horn.
Oh, yeah. Yuki was,
did.
I believe she was running with him. Isn't that right?
Ah, Yuki. Which one of you is Yuki?
It is I.
Oh, nice to meet you. My name is Don. I trust my son Shen told you about what he was doing. You guys don't seem to be from around here.
No, we're not. We're not from around here.
Oh, and he didn't mention what his task was?
Well, unless he mentioned it to Yuki.
Did he mention it to you?
Not that I recall.
Okay. Well, his job as a member of our family is during the festival, he is to run around constantly all day with the horn, and he's the one tasked with looking for the spirit. And when the spirit appears, he is the one to blow the horn when he sees it, to call my other son Lee. Here he points to Lee, who's still unconscious on the ground, to come and meet the spirit. So that is his task. But I'm sorry about all the trouble that my son here has caused for you. I apologize for that, but I'm impressed that you guys managed to find your way through the forest.
Well, that's quite all right. Your son's pretty good with his fighting.
That he is. He's the only one, though. I'm afraid I'm a little too old and have seen a little too much of life to be able to help him out in his task today. And he looks at Yuki, and he notices he kind of takes a look at Yuki, and you guys seem to notice him staring at her hand at her side.
Wait, say that again?
He's staring at you.
Yes.
Looking at
Mark?
your hand.
My hand.
Your hand.
And then Yuki says, "Is something catching your eye?"
Yes, actually. It's the mark on your hand.
And Yuki tells everybody else around to show their marks as well.
And I show mine.
Takashi pretends to cover it.
Okay, so Takashi doesn't know it.
Yeah, he doesn't.
And Crispy, you're still observing.
Absolutely, from a distance, as a prudent pirate would do.
Oh, okay. And he looks and he's like, "That's interesting."
And Yuki says, "Do you know what this mark means?"
Well, actually, but before he finishes his sentence, you guys all hear a loud horn call from what sounds like back in the main area of the festival. So it sounds kind of far off back through the forest. And as you hear it, you see you see Lee suddenly shoot up with a look of excitement in his face, and he gets off and he dashes off and he dashes into the forest back towards where you heard the horn blow from. And Dawn again kind of sighs and looks at all of you, and he says, "I have a request for you all. Would you be willing to hear me out?"
Might as well.
Go ahead.
He says, "I'm truthfully, my son is strong, but I am worried for him. Normally, it is only for the members of our family that are able to combat the spirit. But in rare cases, I am ordained to allow others, of which I choose to help out. So I guess my question is just, you guys think you could lend him a hand?
How do you deem us worthy to lend him a hand?
Oh, wait, Yuki responds to Naomi and says, "You don't have to be perfect to help people. All you have to be is real."
Oh, I'm being real serious here. How do you deem us
Don
worthy?
looks at Yuki and he says, "Old woman, that is wise advice, but tell me, what is so funny?"
Sometimes when I think of inspirational things to say, it brings me so much joy that I just laugh.
So that's the secret to your longevity,
Yes,
old woman.
joy.
I'll be sure to keep that in mind as I am too getting a bit older. Thank you for your wisdom, old woman.
You're welcome.
And he looks at Naoma and he says, "Well, the matter is really quite urgent, but I'm sure the answers you're looking for will reveal themselves pretty soon."
Is it due to the fact that we have these marks?
And he looks at you and he's something like that.
Interesting. All right.
What are we helping your son with?
Spirit. I'm afraid, I'm worried that the spirit may be a little too much for him to handle. I don't know much about the spirits. And Lee has trained his whole life for this, but
Yeah,
I guess just a father's,
Yeah.
father's worry.
Yet why do you think we will know how to handle the spirit?
I don't, truthfully. But seeing those marks on a few of you is a great intrigue for me. And I think you're here for a reason, to be honest.
We are. But yes, if it is a fatherly concern, I feel like we should help. Right, guys?
Sure.
And he gets on his you guys see him kind of climb onto the ground and get on his hands and knees and bow to you and say, "I thank you."
Neoma bows and says, "We're grateful to be of service."
Yuki also bows, but she says nothing.
Takashi just like he just nods and he's like, "All right, let's get this started."
Takashi secretly becomes Yuki all of a sudden. He's a shapeshifter.
Yeah.
Hey. All right. Well, you see Don back up kind of expectantly, and he points back to the forest, and he says, "Well, you may find your way back the same way you came. I think you'll find that the way will be a lot less confusing as it was before."
Excellent.
Great. All right. Then let's get going.
All right. So you guys are all going to head back.
Okay.
Mhm.
As they leave, Crispy comes out of hiding and approaches Dawn.
Okay. So at this point, everyone has walked back into the forest, and so Crispy walks out. Dawn, he looks a little bit surprised to see someone else, and he doesn't seem to have known that you were looking on, and he goes, "Can Can I help you?
So what are we really going up against?
He says, "We? Oh, are you a member of the previous group?"
They're gonna help me in pursuing my plans. I am just
Yeah.
curious what they're up against, so I may possibly aid them.
Do you also bear the mark?
He lifts his eye patch and shows you his left eye
Hmm.
and closes it.
And he goes, "I see." And he sighs and kind of, truthfully, I do not know much. I do not know much about the spirit. Only that it's tasked. Only that it shows up once every 100 years to take our artifact back to the spirit world. And for many generations, as long as it's been here, my family has been tasked in protecting it, and we've been able to hold on to it so far. I just worry that as Lee is the only member of my family capable of fighting, I'm just worried that father's worry, concern, as you may have heard if you were listening on, that spirit may be too much for him to handle.
Indeed, I heard. How has your family defeated the spirit every 100 years?
Well, my great grandfather was the last one to combat the spirit, but he never spoke. He never spoke too much on it, to be honest. I think it was his own little idea of tradition to keep our family a bit in the dark. He was always kind of a, do-it-yourself kind of guy. So I think he liked the idea of giving us as little information as possible. And he kind of laughs and sighs, and he says, "Some good that's gonna do us tonight."
And Crispy sighs out of frustration.
And Dawn again kind of sighs and
How capable is your son?
and he says, "Lee, my son is strong, but he is young and he is naive. He seems to fancy the bravado as much as the fight, and so."
Oh, he's a Jack Sparrow. Oh no.
And Don looks at you and he's like, "Who?"
He's a pirate, a myth and legend from that come time to time. Someone who speaks way too much, but does very little. So
this sounds like my son.
I will gather. Information is most helpful. Thank you, sir. Crispy politely bows like a pirate, and he starts following the rest of the group from a distance.
All right. So the rest of you guys make your way back through the forest and back out into the beach in the main area of where the festival is. But what you notice is there is nobody left. There seems to be nobody around. You guys do see Lee standing in the middle of the beach, looking around. There is a light fog at the shoreline, and most of the torches that lit the front of the stores and lit the beach are out, and there's pretty much only a full moon above, lighting the night. So all you really see is Lee kind of looking around.
Takashi's gonna try to light one of the torches, just real quick. He's gonna like, 2
Okay.
blasts.
All right, so there's a torch not too far from you, and you fire bend and light the torch, and the torch lights up, gives you a little bit more light. There's a lot of not a ton of light, as it's only a torch, but you guys can see a little bit better now.
Yuki suggests that we watch him and see what he does because she believes that the moon will drive him to act.
You watch who?
The guy looking around.
Who, Lee?
Lee. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, to watch the moon. Yeah.
Like to watch what he'll do because he's just there by himself, right?
Well, he's looking around.
Yeah.
You guys heard, this is where you guys heard the horn blow from. You guys don't see Shen anywhere, who was the one tasked with blowing the horn.
Uh-huh.
All you see is Lee. And just a quick little reminder about how Lee looks. He's got kind of shorter black hair, and he's dressed in traditional, a little bit more traditional Earth Kingdom attire, and he's got a couple of colored flags draped around, or kind of draped around the front of and back of him. Which is Yuki also recognizes as the same attire as Shen, the one with the horn, and as well as Dawn was also wearing a very similar attire. You guys assume that it probably has something to do with them being a part of the village's elder family. And so you look out at Lee. He's still kind of looking around. He seems real antsy he seems real antsy. As he's looking around, he looks back to you guys. He notices you guys, and he runs over. And he runs over to you guys, and he goes, guys, hey, but he goes, and you see him. His voice kind of deep. Here his voice kind of deep, and he's like, "Oh, hello, hey friends, it's good to see you again. By any chance, have you run into any spirits, or have you seen my brother, perchance?" He tries to remain a little calm, but you can see he's pretty antsy.
Well, last time. Oh, go ahead, Yuki.
No, go ahead.
Oh, no. Okay, fine. Last time we saw him, like it was right before we met you, I guess. But the beach is empty. Where did everybody go?
And he goes, "Oh, well, allow me to tell you, ma'am. When the horn is blown, everybody is to return to their homes. So he kind of puffs out his chest so that I may engage the spirit in combat. May I ask what you are all doing here?"
Well, we just came here to witness this greatness of yours and what great task you're gonna do. We hear from your father. So, wait, where is your brother again? I know that you're trying to look for him. And then,
Well, my brother should have been the one to blow the horn, but I don't see him anywhere. So I was wondering if you had seen him. I believe that this is where the horn. I heard the horn come from. So I was looking for him or for the spirit.
Well, let's go help you look for your brother.
Oh, well, thank you.
Smart.
I appreciate it. And a quick question for Crispy. Crispy, you followed them back. They left the forest, but you are still towards the edge of the forest. No one knows that you're around quite yet.
Hmm.
what are you going to do? Are you going to reveal yourself, or are you still going to keep following at a distance?
Oh, we're gonna keep falling from a distance. Absolutely. Let them do all the work.
Oh
I'm just
my
gonna-
god.
Okay. All right. So you guys begin walking down the beach. But as you guys get to the center of the beach, you guys hear what sounds like coming from towards the water, a light.
It's a spirit.
And then you guys
Do you say
notice
that?
that
Yeah.
Yeah.
what'd you say?
Oh no, Takashi's just gonna call it. Oh, guys, it's just the spirits out there.
And okay, so Lee stops and he looks over, and you guys a thick fog starts flowing in from the sea, and the thick fog rolls in across the beach and around you guys, and it's pretty thick. You guys can only see a couple feet around you as you hear this kind of
Takashi
a really
talks
quiet
genuinely.
fog rolls in and envelops you all.
Can you clear it with your airbending?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So I use my airbending to try clearing it out.
Okay, so you use your air bending, and the fog, it blows away a nice little gust of the fog, but the fog continues to kind of roll in as you hear this. It rolls in and kind of refills the area that you cleared pretty soon after you have cleared it out.
How many
And
seconds does the fog roll in? How many seconds how long until the fog rolls in? Is it like super quick or super
how after you airbend some of it away?
Yep.
It's pretty fast. You blow some of it away and it pretty much immediately fills back in. So only a couple seconds really to kind of fill in the spot that you blew it from.
Couple seconds, eh?
Yeah, only a few seconds. So Crispy, back to you real quick. You hear this kind of and the fog rolls in. You see fog kind of roll in from the sea and kind of envelop the beach. Now you're following behind, but you kind of lose track of everybody in the fog. It's pretty, it's thick enough that you can only see a couple feet in front of you. So that's what's going on for you. Now, you guys, you other guys who are around, the rest of you that are together, you guys kind of see through the fog, towards the shoreline, you see kind of a wispy silhouette seem to rise up out of the
Water?
rise up out of the water or rise up from near the shoreline. And you guys can see a light silhouette. It seems pretty large, but you guys can't really make out what the silhouette is. It's kind of waving in the fog. It seems pretty ethereal and formless. And you guys also kind of feel water kind of rise up around, kind of come in like the tide around your feet.
Yuki tries to waterbend it away.
Okay. So Yuki, waterbend how much of it? Like just the water around your feet?
Yeah, like trying to get it so that it doesn't get everybody.
Okay.
All of us.
So Yuki uses her waterbend to kind of clear the water. The water still kind of is coming, but Yuki kind of clears the water in the immediate area around your feet. So it kind of flows around your guys' feet.
Yuki says, should we run away or fight?
And Lee puffs out his chest and he says, Old woman, run away if you are afraid. But I, Li Raolu of the Elder Family of Guangxi, was born for this.
And then Yuki says, "You're right. The way I see it, if you want the rainbow, you gotta put up with the rain." Dolly Parton. And then she uses her water bending again to try to like push away more water. Does it work?
How much more water are you trying to push away?
Like 50 feet.
Well, though you see the water, the kind of oval that you've created around your guys' feet of the water flow back, get pushed back for a little bit and start to recede, but it still kind of comes back a little bit, and you're still able to kind of keep it off your feet, but it feels like there's a bit of a force pushing back against your bending, kind of not normal of a normal tide.
Yuki just yells out, "I think it's a water spirit."
Seems like the spirit is here.
The spirit is here. Where the spirit of the Lord is.
Neoma goes in a defensive stance.
Okay.
Oh.
So Neoma takes it. I see Neoma take a defensive air nomad stance. And you also see Lee take a defensive stance as well.
Takashi's like, do we have to fight it, or can we talk to it?
We could.
Ooh, try.
And Lee is like, but of course we fight it. Talk to it? What?
Maybe it's a peaceful spirit. You know, this is a festival, a party. You know, there's no violence.
A peaceful spirit, but my ancestors, they fought the spirit. Okay. And you see that you guys see still kind of throughout in a bit of a ways in the fog, that a kind of wispy silhouette, and but the fog is still thick.
Yuki wants to respond to Takashi's idea to talk to it, and she says, "Lean in, speak out, have a voice in your organization, and never use the word sorry." And she nods at him, giving him permission to speak.
Okay. I don't know. Takashi's gonna try to say something.
Mm-hmm.
He just calls out, "Oh, spirit, we have come here to bring peace and harmony back to the people of this village. Tell us what you want. You can try to solve this peacefully."
And the spirit, or what you guys see, you guys see the fog, or you guys see the kind of wispy silhouette. It wavers in the fog, but you don't seem to get a response.
Takashi's like, "Oh, well, at least I tried."
And Lee, he kind of looks and he's, how much time are you going to waste? We must fight.
Yeah, we'll land the first blow then.
And you see Lee kind of you see he kind of has a nervous look, but he kind of straightens up again really quick, and he's like, "Oh, okay," and he kind of, and you see him kind of charge into the fog, towards the spirit, towards the kind of wispy silhouette.
Mm.
And he disappears in the fog, running towards it.
Oh, goodness. So Neoma, after he runs forward, tries to clear out the fog again in the direction that he's running towards.
Okay. And you guys briefly So Naoma bends and clears out some of the fog in the direction. And in the brief couple seconds that it's there, you kind of see a silhouette of what seems like a person a ways down the beach towards where he ran. But it is not, it doesn't seem to be moving.
I run
Oh.
after him.
Yeah, same.
Same.
Okay. So you guys all run. Oh, Yuki seems to have disappeared. So
The
before,
fog is too thick.
She was too fast. He's
So
right ahead of us.
wait,
Oh, okay.
you're hungry. You just got a bunch of food.
Darn it. I need to get dinner still.
Okay. So you guys all run in. You guys all run in towards the fog. Now you notice that the water is. You guys kind of run into the water. That's kind of, it's just about ankle deep as you're running towards the beach. And after a couple seconds of running, you guys run into. You guys end up running right into the back of Lee.
Ooh.
And he's not moving, and he looks at you, and he's like, he turns around and he looks at you, he's like, and he says, "No, wait!" And then, as he says that, the water around your guys' feet freezes to ice,
Ooh.
locking you guys in place.
Ooh. Takashi, use your fire.
Yeah, Takashi's like, "What's going on?" And he just kind of does the, the like fire punch. Tries like,
Okay.
yeah,
To the ground.
Are
Yeah.
you doing it at your own feet?
yeah, all the ice.
At all the ice around you?
What about us? Or is it just you?
Well, he
Or is
just
it
said
all
all
of
All
us?
ice around.
Go ahead. I'm good.
Let's
yummy.
do a. Okay, that's fine.
Rolling
Do
thing.
a. I guess it would be a dexterity check, just to make sure you don't
Okay.
burn any of your friends.
14 plus dexterity, right?
Yep.
14 plus 3, 17.
Okay, and that seems to be enough to clear. And with very skillfully, you let a blast of fire out that melts the ice around all of your feet, freeing you guys.
Yay.
And so Crispy, is Crispy there? Where's Crispy? So back to Crispy. You
I'm
kind
here,
of do a
just
bit of a
redoing my eye
commotion.
patch.
What?
Say that again.
I'm here just redoing my eye patch because it keeps doing weird
sure.
things to me.
So you hear a bit of commotion. You see a kind of warm blast, or a kind of light. You hear the blast of fire, and you hear kind of in a direction towards where you think they might be. You see the fog kind of light up, as if there was a flame,
Okay.
and that's all you really see right now.
Okay.
Now the water is kind of lapped around your feet as well. You still
Okay.
kind of hear that faint thump, thump, thump,
Okay.
and the fog is still thick.
Oh, great. How much closer do I need to get to see what's going on?
So the fog is very thick, so you can't see that far ahead of you.
Mhm.
Probably only a couple feet, 4 or 5 feet. But you were probably trailing them from about 20, 25 feet behind them when they got lost, when the fog came in. And so now the blast of fire that you saw was probably about, I'd say, 40 feet away from you. That
Okay.
you kind of in that direction, a little bit closer to the shore than you were.
Okay. I will walk. I'll start running towards where that flame is, because that's obviously where the action is, and I draw out my short bow just in case.
Okay. So you draw your short bow. Now, are you looking to meet up with them or stop short of everybody?
Just close enough for me to see what's going on without them without getting involved yet. I still want to be unknown still.
Okay, so you run up and until you hear their voice is fairly close to you, but not so close that you can be seen by them. But because they can't see you, you're in the thick fog, you're still not quite able to see them, but you do know they are near due to their voices. All right.
Okay.
Well, you guys are free of the fire, or not the fire, of the ice. And what are you guys gonna do now? You still hear that kind of faint thump, thump coming from somewhere. And the fog is still thick, and you still see kind of a wispy silhouette a bit closer to you, but still a bit of a ways away through the fog. You can't quite tell how far it is.
Yuki says, well, young'uns, any ideas?
Yeah, Takashi speaks up and he asks Lee, he's like, where did the ice come from? Did it come from the wisp out there?
He seems a little confused, and he says, I don't know. The water around my feet froze, but this doesn't make sense.
What doesn't make sense?
And he says, well, don't you know the tail? It should be the spirit. It should be an earth spirit. Why this? But this spirit seems to have dominion over water.
Huh.
It's the Avatar. So around our group, is it still foggy?
Yep. You guys are standing close enough to make out each other. You guys are still a little blurry to everybody, but because you guys are standing close, you guys can see generally where each other are.
So with that, Neoma decides to clear the air by blasting, or using her airbending skills to manipulate the fog to clear it.
So are you just trying to clear the fog?
Yeah, all around us. So
all right, so you clear the fog all around you. And so briefly, you're able to see around you and see everybody clearly. But you hear kind of the thump, thump. Speed up a little bit briefly. Thump, 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 thump. And the fog kind of fills back in that area quickly.
Did you guys see anything when I cleared the air?
No.
Besides us now.
Great.
Did I happen to see anything when that was happening?
So the fog around you got cleared quickly. You guys can do a perception check. If you guys want to try to perceive anything when Neoma did that. When Neoma cleared the fog. So if you guys want to roll, if any of you guys want to roll for perception.
I think we all do at this point.
I got a natural 20.
Nice.
I got an 8.
Okay.
I've yet to roll, but go ahead.
Okay, so Crispy, let's go with your 8. With an 8, you don't really see anything different. You still hear that thump, thump as the fog fills back in. And that's about it. You don't really notice anything that you haven't noticed before. Now,
that's not helpful.
Yuki,
No, that's not.
with a natural 20.
Nice.
Okay, that's big. So you notice a couple things. The thumps that you hear, there you actually hear coming from 2 different directions by the shoreline. One a little bit to the left of you, and one a little bit to the right. And they sound like they're coming from right about where the water would be. You also out of the corner of your eye, as the fog clears, you see a man standing near you,
Yeah.
an eye-patched man standing
Oh.
near you, slip back into the mist as it clears. You lose sight of him pretty quickly. He's maybe about 10 feet away from you guys.
Yuki yells. Oh, sorry. Finish.
Okay, and one more thing.
Mm.
And you get a bit of a clear sight of the of whatever the wispy silhouette is. You see something standing. You see something near the water line, or near where the beach meets the water, and you see that it actually might be. There seems to be. You briefly see a veil of. It seems to be a rising veil of water obscuring something behind it, which may be what's giving off the kind of wispy, unclear silhouette before the fog clears back in.
She yells, "Show yourself," quoting Queen Elsa from Frozen 2.
Okay.
She's
Yuki
she's yelling it towards that eye patched man.
Okay. So Yuki
First,
looks in a direction, looks off to the side, and you guys all see her yell, "Show yourself."
Yuki, did you see something?
Yeah.
She turns to you and says, "I saw a man with an eye patch and he disappeared into the fog. I feel like he has been following
So
us."
Crispy, you hear all of this. You hear Yuki yell, "Show yourself," and you hear the conversation. Now you guys do all remember a eye-patched companion that you ran into briefly on the boat coming into town.
Wait a minute. Is that the same dude that was with us?
That's Crispy. Takashi's gonna call it to Crispy. Crispy, you lost?
All right, Crispy.
I love
So
it.
they're all kind of yelling in your direction.
I'm gonna try to rehide myself.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Roll for. Is it stealth?
I have stealth. Yeah.
Okay.
You said Stell. I was like, Stell?
Like, that's not nice.
Okay. 17.
Okay, that's pretty good. And let's go ahead and if you're gonna roll for self, everybody else roll one more time for perception.
Oh.
With but everybody roll for perception with advantage.
Nice.
That's not. Well, I mean, it's fair. It's fair because someone called.
Because
I get
you
called
were
out.
seen before, so
I got called out.
perception.
One.
Oh.
Ooh, okay, hold on.
Advantage means you roll twice.
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
roll twice and take the higher.
Take the
Oh.
higher one. So what's your highest one?
Yeah.
So you don't add anything, right?
No, you just take the whatever one's higher.
Okay. So did anybody beat a 17?
I got an 18.
I have yet to.
Ugh.
20.
Oh, so with that, people everyone as their eyes adjust to the fog see a silhouette.
Yes.
Finally see a silhouette of an eye patched man, of a silhouette of a person. They can't quite make out the person because they're standing a little bit of ways away,
It's the power of Queen Elsa.
but they do. Seems Crispy, you are found out.
Woohoo!
I yell to the group,
Oh.
pay attention to the shore.
Oh, wait. Is that our friend? Is that Crispy? Where have you been?
And you guys, as you guys are talking, Lee goes, "Ugh, I'm sick of this," and he dashes towards the silhouette. Though you guys hear a kind of what sounds like a sudden rush of water, and Lee is knocked back, sopping wet, and he kind of rolls back into view of your guys, knocked back, and he's sopping wet and looks a little bit shocked.
Hmm.
So Neoma quickly like clears the air. Oh,
Okay. Are you
Yeah.
clearing the air?
in the direction where he ran towards.
Okay.
And Yuki asks if someone can dry him, either with fire burning to keep him warm or like air to like air dry.
Kashi's gonna give a look to Neoma. He's like, I think you got this.
I turned to Takashi. Really? Really?
You want me to burn him?
Well, you can just warm him up. Well, okay, fine. I just blow air at him.
You blow air at him, and he seems to shiver, and he looks at you, and he's like, "What are you doing?
I mean,
this-
it was Takashi's job. I'm sorry.
Is this?"
You're supposed to warm him up.
I can't make warm air.
Yuki looks at Takashi and says, "Come on, youngin."
Exactly.
And so Yuki, are you keeping all the other information of what you saw to yourself?
Oh yeah. Then she shares the rest of the information.
What?
Oh.
Like
So
the
what
big
what
wall of
information was
water-
that?
Like the big wall of water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Oh, another figure, right? No, a silhouette.
Test.
That was crispy. You guys
Oh.
already solved that.
There's another one.
We need to confront
All right,
the
so let's do a recap
person.
of what Yuki saw.
Something.
So Yuki, the crispy conundrum was solved. Yuki mentioned that she seemed to, in the direction of the spirit, she seemed to see a large veil of water briefly,
Yes.
obscuring whatever was behind it, which seemed to be giving off the image of that wispy silhouette. And she heard that thump, that kind of thump. That's coming. She
Coming
heard it
from
coming
both
from.
directions,
Yep.
left or right, where the water would be. I
Mhm.
wrote this down.
We just walk there then.
All right, so I go up towards there.
To which way?
Left or the right?
I mean, Yuki, you know where it was, right? It was
Well, it
right
was coming
the-
from both the left and the right. Maybe we should split up. You go one direction, I'll go the other.
Should I go to the right?
Okay. Takashi is gonna head towards the sound to the right.
Okay, I'll head towards the left then.
Naoma's going towards the left. Yuki, crispy.
Which sounded louder, the left or the right?
Crispy, you're more off towards the right side.
Okay, was it louder in my end, or do I
So
hear it?
it sounds a little bit loud. The right side sounds a little bit louder to you, as you may be closer to that, because you're off to the
Okay.
right side of the group.
So I will go to the right.
And I'll go to the left then.
Okay, so let me recap. Yuki and Naoma are going to the left.
Mhm.
Takashi and Crispy are going to the right.
Mhm.
Okay. And Lee looks at everybody. He looks kind of back and forth and kind of like stressed out that everybody's just suddenly starting to run off. And he goes, wait. And he heads to the left with
The
Yuki
ladies.
and Naoma.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Takashi and Crispy, you guys are moving to the right, and suddenly, as the sound gets louder, the thumping of the sound gets louder, and you're getting closer to the shoreline. Suddenly, something strikes out at Takashi. Out of the mist, out of the fog. So Takashi, roll. You're gonna try to dodge it. So roll a. What would you think? Athletics?
Sure. Or can I do acrobatics?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, dexterity would make sense.
7.
A 7. Okay, and with a 7, what is your AC?
17.
17. Okay. With a so you're not successful in dodging, but your
no.
movement you move just enough that you see the tip of a spear stabs out, and you just barely enough get it. It strikes your clothing and tears the front of your shirt, but luckily it just misses you enough that it
Whoa,
only
hey.
tears your shirt, and you are uninjured.
Yay. Good job.
So
Nice.
why don't you and Crispy, you see Takashi kind of leap out of the way, and out of the mist a spear pokes out and almost stabs him. So why don't you guys roll for initiative?
Yes.
Man. Yeah.
All right. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Ooh.
Okay.
11.
11. Roll one more time. Takashi.
Okay. Dude, what happened? 6.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So
bro.
Crispy.
I need a dice box.
Crispy. So this, you see a spear strike out of the mist, and almost stab Takashi, and you see it retract back into the fog, but you see still a silhouette of a shrouded attacker.
A shrouded attack.
I'm gonna aim my short bow at it and shoot it. Does it see where I am by chance, or
Does whatever it is.
does it know that I'm there, or it doesn't?
You don't know it. You only saw it strike out at Takashi. You were pretty close to him, but you were a little bit behind, so you're not entirely sure.
Okay, well, I'm gonna aim in that direction and shoot
fire.
an arrow from my short bow.
So you shoot short bow and roll to hit.
Of course. And then it's +5. Yeah. So it's 17.
17. Okay. So you pull out your short as soon as you see the spear strike out at Takashi. You pull out your short bow and fire, and Takashi, you hear an arrow whiz by your ear from behind. As soon as you dodge a spear as arrows flying right by your ear, narrowly misses your face and flies off into the mist towards where the spear came from. And you hear a loud shout, and so roll for damage.
Rolling. 5 + 3, 8. 8 damage.
Okay, 8 damage. And you hear Takashi, you see the kind of silhouette where the spear came from, hunch over a little bit, but they're gonna strike back out at you. And you see the
All right.
spear strikes back at you. Now remind me, it's been a bit since we've done D&D. If it matches the AC, is that a miss?
Oh, it's a hit.
That's a hit. Okay. So
No, I thought that was a miss.
is that a miss or a hit?
You have to beat the AC, doesn't it?
No, if it's the same, doesn't it hit?
It hits if it's the same AC.
D&D, Google.
Let's figure it out.
Oh goodness.
Your roll. Does it hit? If the total of the roll plus modifier equals or exceeds the yep, it hits. If it
okay.
equals or exceeds.
All right. So the spear strikes back out at you, and you're still a little bit flustered from almost getting stabbed by the spear, still a little off balance, and an arrow whizzing by your ear. And as you kind of look back where the arrow comes from, the spear strikes out again and strikes your shoulder, doing 6 damage.
Dang.
6 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to find my other damage dice.
Mm-hmm. All right, and so now Takashi, it is your turn.
HP. You said 6 damage?
Mhm.
Okay. Oh man, down to 4 now. Yeah, Takashi just guess the gravity of the situation starts sinking in, and then he just kind of spins around and tries to do like a kick, and then like produce flames from that.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. And so I guess roll to hit.
Come on. I use like my spell attack.
Mhm.
Okay, 10.
A 10 to hit.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So you spin around and you kick, and shooting flames out of your kick. But you see the kind of you see a person as they are near enough to stab you, kind of jump to the side, kind of roll off to the side of you, just narrowly avoiding your flames, and stand back up, spear in hand. So now it's back to Crispy.
All right. Observing seeing that that Takashi got hit, Crispy heroically dashes in front of Takashi
Wow.
to be in the way and thrusts his rapier into the silhouette.
Okay, roll to hit.
Rolling to hit. We got I got a nat 20.
You got a nat
Nice.
20.
Yeah.
Okay. So roll for damage.
My rapier is a 1d8, so d8.
And you roll
Roll.
twice, right? Is it
That's
crit?
pathetic though. 5.
Only 5 damage for the crit.
A great crit, but low damage roll.
Okay, that's good. And so Takashi spins and kicks, and the person dodges out of the way and lifts back up the spear. But before he can strike, Crispy dashes in front of Takashi and stabs with his rapier. The movement was so quick you didn't even see him draw his sword, and he stabs into the man, right into his chest, and you see him kind of and fall to one knee, but still kind of, and you see that still kind of fall to a knee and still kind of clutching his spear. He's gonna stab back up at Crispy now
Okay.
with a roll of 17.
Oh, I take that.
Okay, so he stabs back up at Crispy, hitting him, striking him, grazing your side for 3 damage.
All right.
All
I'm
right.
gonna go. Like no, yeah. Arr.
All right. So Takashi, Crispy had just jumped in front of you and stabbed, bringing the man down. But he had stabbed back at Crispy. But he is the man seems pretty worse for wear. So your next roll will have advantage.
Nice. So seeing Crispy do that, Takashi is gonna take initiative, kind of like sprint to the side and try to get behind the person,
Okay.
and then just try to blast him with fire.
Okay. All right. Roll to hit.
Yeah.
And with advantage.
Advantage. Okay. 12.
A 12. A
Yeah.
12 is going to hit. So roll
Ooh.
just barely.
No. Oh yeah. Oh, damage. Produce flames. That's 1d8. 1 damage.
And with 1 damage, the man, you after Crispy stabbed the man, he stepped back. You dashed from behind Crispy, swinging around the other side, and with your hand at your side, you punch out, blasting him in the back of the head with a flame, and the man falls forward onto the ground.
Wow.
Nice.
I do all this work, and he does a little punk, and he dies. That's not.
he gets the
Crispy
glory.
gets annoyed. Goes like, he goes. "Tch, I stabbed
All right.
with the swiftness of my rapier, and you
So-
barely graze him, and he decides to die.
So the person falls on the ground by you as you guys kind of collect yourselves. You guys still hear the kind of thumping coming from the towards the shoreline. And you hear kind of from that direction, you hear a voice call out like, Ishmael.
That's scary.
Ishmael, are you there? What happened? So what are you guys gonna do? There's a person kind of lying at your feet. You hear this voice coming from where that thumping is sounding, not too far away.
Only those two hear it, right?
Yeah, because they went that way. We'll get to you guys in a
Oh
second.
no, you're good. All right, just
Rashi's gonna speak to Crispy. We should do this quietly. Let's try to take that guy by surprise.
Shall we lie in ambush?
Yeah. Let's prop this guy up and make it seem like he's just standing here.
Okay. Okay, so you guys lift the guy up. Now, as you guys lift the guy up, you do notice something. You guys recognize the man's attire, and you recognize the man as he's wearing a Northern Water Tribe uniform with the golden embellishments, and you recognize as the spearman who was fighting the kind of guys in the dragon dance costume, putting
Ooh.
on the performance. And so you guys kind of lift him up to use his silhouette to prop him up. Are you guys going to just stay there?
Yes. Takashi says like I'm like heavily injured right now. I don't know. What should we
Okay.
do?
So you guys prop the guy up, and so now let's jump over back to Yuki, Naoma, and Lee. So you guys are walking over to the left where you hear that thump, that kind of thumping coming from. And as you guys are nearing it, you guys see in front of you, blocking your path, this kind of silhouette rises up seemingly from nowhere and blocks your path.
Yuki tries to water bend at it.
All right, well, let's go ahead and roll for initiative.
Okay.
All right.
Oh. Yeah. Oops. I wrote a
I got 11.
All right, 11.
Oh, and then Sarah.
11.
Sarah, roll again.
9.
Okay. As this rises up at you, Sarah, because you took initiative, I guess, and Waterbend first, go ahead and roll to hit.
Okay. A 12.
A 12. So you try to bend water. You blast water at the silhouette, but from it, a kind of mist or steam seems to spray, and your water is frozen in air and falls to the ground,
Oh no.
shattering. And then it's going. What is your AC?
I don't know. I 13.
That is not helpful.
know.
13.
Do you have your
This.
do you know your like wisdom
My
modifier?
wisdom 16.
It's like the AC is like, where is it here? It's like something plus something.
Is it wisdom plus something?
Oh yeah, your dexterity plus your wisdom modifier.
So
10 plus dexterity modifier plus wisdom modifier.
Oh.
10. Okay. So your AC, you said 10 plus dex and wisdom.
Yeah.
Okay,
Your AC is
so-
15.
Yeah.
How does she have better AC than I do?
Where's my-
Anyhow,
I am not.
Vendors.
Yeah, I need to like
What is
literally
your-
fix my character.
benders,
What
bender
is your
abilities.
AC again?
Oh, actually, I'm looking at the D&D
Armor class.
So kind of side thing.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Just pause. I would definitely before next time take a look at if you guys need me to resend that D&D avatar campaign.
That'd be great.
I'll resend that because that explains more your classes for benders. It's going to be a little bit different. It's not a big deal today, but it has like, unique abilities and stuff.
Yeah, I forgot to do my bonus action for extra
Yes.
fire.
Yeah, and everything regarding your characters. So I would definitely take a look at that if you haven't. So for Sarah, her first level is 8 plus her con modifier. I'm looking at it right now. So what's your constitution modifier?
Sorry, guys.
That's okay. No worries.
Let's just say, okay, you have an AC of 10 right now.
What? I go from 15 to 10?
Yeah, because
Okay, that sounds better. That sounds better than I thought it was supposed to be.
because 15 is a lot, I think, for level 1.
Yeah, unless you're like a built tank fighter.
Yeah.
Can someone help me make a real
'Cause I think-
character?
I think waterbenders
I'm
are
like
more
using this.
support or
Yeah,
and
Ew.
lighter on the armor. It says they use like light armor and stuff.
But doesn't it say on like under fluid defense? AC plus equals 10 plus.
Oh, you're totally right. While
Oh.
wearing no armor,
It's
not
10
wearing
plus.
shield. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, for now, I guess because you're not wearing armor or have a shield, your
Mhm.
AC equals. Oh, that's
It's gonna
interesting.
be less.
No, it's gonna be more. So
Should be
you're
more. Yeah.
And that's
I
why
am
mine-
at
you are at
15.
You are at 15.
Oh my
All right, we've
goodness.
solved. We've solved.
being a
Yay.
pirate doesn't make his benefits lately, huh?
Need
Okay.
some armor.
We've solved.
Yeah, I didn't get to
Thank
Um,
you guys.
And
Being a
so
pirate sucks.
the
Oh,
kind of silhouette that you see, water blasts from it, but you're able to bend the water away from you before it hits you. Just like that. As you do that, the water creates a circle and blasts past you as you counter.
Nice.
Okay, Naoma,
yes.
you're up.
All right. So as I see this happen, wait, do I see the figure clearly?
It's still a little bit of a ways off, but now that it's not too far away. It's probably about 10 feet away from you. But now that you can kind of see it a little bit better, and you have a better understanding after Yuki's brilliant perception roll. There seems to be a veil of water rising up from the ground that is in front of whatever this is.
And how tall is this wall of water?
It's only about I'd say about 5 feet wide, and probably I'd say about 6 feet wide and maybe 7 feet tall.
All right.
Six or seven, yeah, about 7 feet tall.
Okay. So I take my glider out and I try flying up.
Okay. And is your goal to not be seen, or are you just trying to go up to get a better view of it?
To get a better bird's eye view of it.
Okay. So, that's smart. I like that. So you fly, or you take your glider and you fly up into the air above the fog. Now you still can't quite see. You can see a bit of a veil of water rising out of the fog, and you can make out a more clear, solid silhouette standing behind it. It's not wispy like you once saw. That seemed to be a trick of the water flowing in front of it. It looks about to be a kind of a larger creature. It looks to be some sort of creature, but you can't quite make out what. while you are in the air with the fog around it, but you notice that the fog is not over the ocean out. It seems to be just coming in from the shoreline. So where the shoreline is seems to be where the fog is coming from. The fog isn't actually coming from over the water. So you look out and you see with the full moon very clearly over the ocean, but the fog seems to be flowing in from the shoreline of the water.
Okay, so it's clearly coming from the shore.
Mhm.
I look over and see, and well, actually, I don't know if I can do a bonus attack. I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna fly over. Yeah, I'm gonna fly over
Over it to the
to the source that's on the shore.
okay. Okay, so you are flying towards the source. And so next, so we'll get back to you once it's your next turn. Next is Lee. And Lee, you see him stomp the ground as a pillar of earth rises, and he pushes it towards the creature, and it hits the wall of water but smashes into pieces. And he kind of looks around and said, it must be incredibly strong, everyone. All right, and so now it is back to and actually,
The monster, right?
all right, and so yes, and so it's going to take a shot at Naoma. Flew up and over, and Naoma, suddenly you see a blast of water out of the fire, out of the mist. And what is your AC?
Oh, muted.
15.
There she is.
Hi, and I disappear.
Oh, what?
Exactly. 15 is my AC.
Truly pulling a TJ today.
Say that again.
I am 15.
15. Oh, okay. And you are hit in the chest by a blast of water as you fly over, and you take, you're still able to keep flying, but you take 6 damage.
Oh man.
No.
All right. Yuki, as you see water kind of shoot up and hit Naoma flying, it's your turn.
And Naoma is still flying, right? Because
Yeah.
I want to heal her.
She is still flying, kind of away from you.
Oh man. Can I fly too?
What?
Can I fly too?
Well,
Do
you
I
looked
have-
up your character information, correct?
Try.
In what, and how would you fly? In what way?
Never mind. I water bend again.
In what way? What are you can do a lot with water bending. What are you doing?
All right. Oh, I want to like get ice and like shoot it out at the. I see something, right? A figure.
At a
I'm
figure.
really tired.
Oh.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, okay. So at which
Yeah,
figure?
blast some water.
What?
So you're gonna blast some ice at.
Wait, can I like get a reminder of what I see?
Okay. So remember, you saw the kind of wispy silhouette. You realized that it was a veil of water rising up. And
Oh, can I try to freeze the veil of water?
Sure.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and roll. And yeah, let's just roll to hit.
4.
Do
I get advantage?
for what? No. And
Just 'cause.
with that 4, even I'm not even gonna try to figure out what you're gonna add to that, because that's not gonna hit. You try to freeze, but you feel a force kind of counteract your bending. And not a force that normal water would be able to do, but maybe the force of another water bender.
Ooh.
As this happens, I want to yell, "Show yourself again."
Okay, yell it.
Show yourself.
Do you sing it?
Yeah.
Nice.
No response.
Okay. She tries again without singing it. Does she get a response?
No.
Wow. Oh, that's so sad.
All right, Naoma, you were blasted by a jet of water, but you're still flying.
Man. So well, as the water hits my chest, I sort of fly forward a little bit away from the source.
Mhm.
I think back into the fog.
You sink back into the fog.
Ooh.
Okay,
Yeah.
Around the shoreline.
Around the shoreline, yeah.
Okay, so you sink back into the fog, and a little bit away, maybe 10 feet away, you hear the thump, 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 pretty loud. And you see a bit of you see a silhouette. And as you were the person that went and watched the performance of the musicians, you recognize this sound as the sound of one of the ice drums being played by the Water Tribe musicians.
Oh man,
Oh, that's crazy.
that is crazy.
So
Oh
cool.
my gosh. Wait, so is it coming closer towards me?
No, but you see a silhouette unmoving that seems about 10 feet away, and that seems to be where the sound is coming from.
Oh man. So wait, so I'm in the fog, right? And they
Yes.
can't. Well. All right. Hot diddy dog. All right then. I don't even have any healing spells. That's great. Shoots. So I just stay in defense mode.
Okay,
Yes, for now, for the time
Okay.
being.
that's fine. All right.
Yu-Gi-Oh style.
I was about to say that.
Yeah.
Defense mode.
Offense mode. No, no offense mode. Defense mode. But anyway, yep.
Defense mode, attack mode.
All right. So
Yeah.
now it is Lee. Lee kind of shaken off, getting stopped before. He is going to you see him, well, I guess Yuki's the only one there.
Mhm.
Yuki, you see him stomp the ground and earthbend some rocks onto his fist. And he charges and punches at the veil of water, but you see the rocks blow off his hand and he's knocked back.
Oh man.
And
Crazy.
and you see a blast of water come from whatever that is, but he is able to leap out of the way before it hits him, and the ground freezes where it hits. All right, and now it is your turn.
No, isn't the monster's turn now? After Lee?
It did.
Oh,
It
it
blasted
was
at
that.
him, but missed.
Okay, well, now that I know that it's another, I get the sense that it's another water bender, can I do another perception check?
Sure.
What are they? 7?
You don't learn anything.
Oh my gosh.
You don't learn anything new about about it. You can, but what you've already, I'll give you a reminder of what you've already learned. It seems to be a veil of water obscuring something behind it, and the water seems to be manipulated by a bender.
Do I get another bonus action? I want to use my hands to part the waters.
Does
to,
doing
veil
a
it.
perception check when you're in combat count as an action?
I mean, it's up to the DM. I mean,
Part the waters.
you can do a real. I don't know.
Okay. Why not?
Yay.
I won't count that as an action, I guess.
14.
14. Okay. So, and you see, well, I guess
it
you're Lee and you see as you part the water,
Like Moses.
you lift your hands and you bend the water, and you see as it starts to open up, briefly you recognize you see through the water what you recognize as the costumed dragon
Okay.
used in the performance before the water closes back up and covers it up again.
Okay.
All right.
That's my whole turn, right?
Okay. And so now we're back to Naoma.
Can I relay that to Naoma? While she's,
I
I mean,
don't
you could
think
like
you can.
scream it.
I scream it.
Yes,
What
gotta
do you
act it out.
scream? You have to scream it to me.
I scream to Naoma. It's the costume thing from earlier.
It's the costume. What do you mean by costume thing? Where are you?
It
What do you mean?
was like what was it? Gosh.
You know those like
like the lion dancing, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So I say
It's like a blue dragon.
It's the blue dragon costume from earlier.
The blue dragon. Oh my goodness.
It's
Okay,
the
so-
lion dancing team.
But it's a
all
dragon.
right.
It's dragon.
I got.
Whatever.
I think I got that. All right. So what's happening now?
So you're still in a defensive stance. You hear that kind of thumping near you. You see the drumming near you. You see the silhouette, and they don't seem to notice you. And you're still in your defensive stance.
Oh man. Okay. So I noticed that they don't seem to notice me. So
Mhm.
then I creep around
Okay.
them slowly.
Okay.
Creeper.
So roll for stealth, I guess.
You're being a creeper.
With advantage.
Yes.
'Cause
With
you have the-
advantage.
Mhm.
Yes. I love it. Okay. Let me see. So I got an 18 for my first one.
And 18 is probably good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 18 plus my
Alright.
dex is
So you
good.
sneak up close enough behind them that they can't see you, but you see he's using the drumming of his ice drum to bend the water, making the fog mist out of the ocean that's filling the beach. And you recognize him as one of the Northern Water Tribe troop members with his ice drum with the gold embellishments.
Okay, so I see that the drum is the source of this chaos.
Mhm.
Right, and I can make another action, right? Or-
Sure, yeah.
Oh wow, I can. Actually, I don't know if I should.
You don't have to.
Oh well, how many figures are there again? How many people?
It's just the one.
It's just one. Okay, well, I don't do anything for now. I sort
Okay.
of, yeah, for now.
That's fine. And oh, I rolled that really far away. All right. And oh man.
I'm stealthy, aren't I?
Oh yikes.
What?
And so no. So Lee, back with Lee, he just stands up and he is you can see he's noticeably frustrated. And he just and he runs and he just charges head first at the veil of water and it's knocked back and falls flat in his face.
Oh.
And what did we? Okay, and so it's going to it's going to and the whatever the form is blasts water back over Lee and freezes over him, locking him into place.
Oh man, we need a firebender here.
All right.
Takashi! Oh, that's what I do for my turn.
That's all you do for your turn.
Do I
That's
hear
all
that?
you do? Really?
Can I yell out for Takashi?
Yeah, you
though?
can now.
We need a firebender.
All right, Takashi.
That's
Missed. You
that's
hit.
a free action, right?
Yeah, it's free action.
So you can do another action.
That is, you can yell that. I will not count that as an action.
Yes.
Yes. Okay,
Does he
do
respond?
Yeah.
Do you respond?
Takashi, do you respond?
Takashi just kind of looks over to Crispy and says, I think the others need help as well. Let's finish up here real quick and help them out.
All right, so let's jump back to Takashi and Crispy. So you guys, you hear that thump coming from you hear all this commotion coming from way over there, and you heard was, "We need a firebender." You're still holding up the silhouette of the person. The thumping continues, but no one has come. You're still holding up that body, but nobody has come to you. You still hear that thumping coming from a little bit forward in the towards the shoreline.
Takashi's gonna look to Crispy. What do you think?
I look at Takashi and say, "Let's drag this body with us. I have a feeling if you leave it alone, it might magically disappear."
All right. Takashi's gonna put the guy on kind of like in the back, on his back, kind of like carrying him like that, and then we're gonna go out.
And are you guys going? Where are you guys going? Towards that sound? Or are you guys trying to just leave the fog? Like go back the way you came? What direction are you guys going?
Just towards the sound, and I guess that's where also Yuki shouted from, right?
No, because remember there were two sounds. One on the left, which they went towards. And
Oh,
one
right, yeah.
You guys went towards. So you guys going to go back to the other people, or back to the right, where you guys were headed before?
Gonna head to where Yuki is.
Okay, so you guys take the body and you guys head back over towards Yuki. And as you guys show up, you guys run into Yuki. You guys, you see her facing this creature. You see Lee frozen on the ground, struggling to get up, and Naoma is not anywhere to be seen.
Can I tell him, like, we need you to melt the ice barrier?
The ice, like
ice.
the holding.
The one that's like
Lee.
hiding the figure of the person.
It's just a veil of water.
The veil.
It's not ice.
I thought it froze.
I think you're talking about Lee, right? Lee's the frozen place.
He is frozen on the ground.
Yeah. Do we re-roll initiative or?
Yeah. Go ahead and re-roll initiative.
Everybody?
No, just Takashi and Crispy.
Okay.
I'll add them in.
Oh man. 13.
Okay. Crispy?
Initiative?
Yep.
Initiative. Come on, roll. 15.
Nice.
Ooh.
Okay. Great. So as you guys show up, you guys take in the situation, and Crispy, you feel ready to make your move. You're a little frustrated that Takashi took all the credit for defeating the last person. You're a little frustrated that you got found. Everything's not really going your way right now. So you take the initiative and are ready to attack.
Do I see any silhouettes or anything else?
Yeah, you see the kind of wispy silhouette not too far ahead of you.
How many feet is it from me?
About from you, about 15 feet.
Is it aware of me yet?
Because
it matters with my next attack.
No, it's not aware of you two showing up yet.
All right, I'm gonna aim my short bow and point and shoot right at it.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. 16.
16. All right, and so you fire and roll for damage.
All right. This is a sneak attack, so I get to roll extra stuff. So hey, that's why I was asking if he was able to see me or not.
Mm-hmm.
Or it was able to.
Nice.
1 plus 3, that's 4, and then roll a 1 on damage. And then the extra 1d.
Oh, no.
Then extra 1d6 and an extra 1d6. Come on, redeem me.
Come on, pirate.
And a 1. 2 1s.
So how much damage in total?
5. I just did 5 damage.
Okay. But you
Okay.
fire your bow and your shot is true, and it pierces through the veil of water, striking the creature, and you hear a voice yell out, "Ah!" And the veil of water falls, revealing the dragon that you saw in the performance of with two men controlling this dragon that you saw in the water bender performance. The dragon that was fighting the one with the spear. All right, Takashi, you're up.
So it's just Lee that's trapped in the ice, right?
Yes.
Okay.
He's still struggling
Still
to
struggling.
get up.
Okay. Well, Takashi's kind of like let the guy off his back.
And
And
he
then-
flops down to the ground behind you.
Okay, and then Takashi's actually going to attack the dragon.
Okay.
He's going to do like like a 1-2 punch and then produce flames from that.
Nice.
Let me roll it. 20. Okay. 11.
11 to hit.
Yeah, to hit.
Okay. So you the fire kind of it moves out of the way. You see the men kind of jump out of the way in the costume, dodging most of the flame, but a little bit of flame does catch the tail of the costume, starting to light the costume on fire. And the costume starts to go up in flames.
Wow.
All right. And Yuki.
Not sure what I want to do on this because I'm just like taking it all in.
Mm-hmm.
Can I skip my turn?
I mean, you can if you want to.
Yeah, I do.
Yuki, the old age really seems to be. It's been a lot going on for Yuki, so kind of, and kind of takes kind of slowly like sits down in the sand and just kind of.
On the sand.
All right, and with that, the creature shoots a blast of ice or of water at Yuki, which hits her. And
Oh man.
and it hits you, but it only does 1 damage.
Oh good.
All right,
These dice
and
rolls are
then
annoying me.
Naoma, it's your
All
turn.
right.
So you're still
All right.
behind this person, and you don't, and they don't notice you. They're still drumming, creating this fog.
All right. So Naoma takes a deep breath. And she does a wind strike towards the drum that he is using right now. So basically, I dash
Oh, you're
up.
attacking the
30
drum.
feet. Yeah.
Sure.
Ooh.
I dash up 30 feet in one direction, causing a light wind to trail behind me. If I strike an object or creature while dashing in this manner, the target takes 3d10 bludgeoning damage.
Okay, so you're trying to dash, and end at the drum,
Yeah.
or trying to dash. Okay, so you want to end up like destroying the drum right in front of the person.
Right. Pretty much. Yep.
Okay, so you dash. You use your air bending to dash, and you dash up and crush through the drum. The guy, the drummer looks up at you in shock and terror.
Can I do a bonus action and just kick him in the face?
Sure, roll to hit with advantage. I guess you're surprised.
With advantage? Yeah.
Yeah.
I did advantage. All right, that is a. And let me just add something just in case. Wait, that would be dexterity, right?
Say that again.
Sorry.
That would be dexterity, right?
Yes, I believe so.
All right, so I get a 19. Does that hit?
Yep, that hits. And roll for damage.
Yay! Actually, I don't even know what to do for it. Wait. Sorry, that was unarmed. Unarmed would be. Ooh, I don't know what that would be out of the top of my head. Is it 4 plus? Richard, remind me. Is that for unarmed attacks? Would it be 4 plus?
With unarmed strikes, it's unless you have martial arts, it's just usually it's just a 1 hit, right?
Yeah. Or plus your strength modifier.
Yeah,
something
plus
like-
strength. Yeah, something like that, right?
Something like that.
Right.
Google
Oh,
unarmed hit.
intense.
Hit unarmed strike DND. See, people ask about this. I knew it. Okay.
I know. One of those people. I should know this by now, but I
Instead of
don't.
using weapon, you can use armor strike. On a hit, an armor strike deals bludgeoning damage equal to 1 plus your strength modifier. So yes, 1 plus your strength modifier.
Oh, okay, all right. Strength
Unless you
up.
know martial arts, and then it's more. But
I mean, I am a nomad, but oh, okay.
I don't know how it works in the D&D rules for what you guys have set up.
Well, so
for that
1
part.
plus my strength. That would be and I know. Oh well, that's just +2. So that's 3.
So 3 damage.
3 damage.
All right, so you kick this person and you dash, you destroy their drum. They look up at you in shock and you kick them in the face, knocking them backwards. And with that, the fog in this immediate area disappears, kind of fades away. And you look back and you can see all your friends, and you can see that you recognize the dragon dance dragon with the 2 guys controlling it, but it's kind of on fire, kind of jumping around.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Is
Yeah.
it on fire?
Remember? Yeah, Takashi set it on fire.
Oh, I'm like, Takashi, you said it. Okay, never mind. Just leave it be.
All right. And so now then, a nat 20. So Lee, you see Lee, who's frozen. He is manages to break himself out of the ice and get back up. All right, but it took all his strength for this turn to get back up. So Crispy, it's back to you. This dragon, the 2 men in the dragon are turn, and you see they're starting to run towards the water as they're on fire.
Is there anyone else apart from those 2 running towards the water?
No, just them in the costume. Because they are on fire.
I shake my head and I point at one of them and I shoot another short bow.
All right, and they've got their back turned to you because they're running, so you could do it with advantage.
Yes. Okay, that's 17 or
That's gonna hit. So
yeah, we're gonna go with the 17.
okay, roll for damage.
Wait. I'm using.
And also you see the one in the back. One of their arrows is sticking out of their shoulder.
Okay, that's the one I'm aiming for. The one that I shot already. So
Yeah.
Oh.
it's like I shake my head and go like.
All right, how much damage?
Oh wait, why is it not rolling? There we go. 4 plus 3, 7.
More than your crit. That's so sad.
I know it's sad. The art of dice roll, man. I swear.
Isn't that more than your crit with the sneak attack?
Yeah, I know. It's irritating me. I rolled double ones, dude.
Right.
You know how irritating that was?
That's so sad. All right, but it strikes him in the back, and he yelps and falls to the ground. And the other man kind of stops and looks back and leaves him and continues running towards the fire with the flaming running towards the water with the flaming costume. All right, Takashi, you're up.
Yeah, he's gonna
You
just
saw Lou shoot one guy and he fell to the ground, and the other guy still running towards the water.
yeah, he's gonna try to finish him off.
All right.
Fire blast him again. 20, not natural 20, normal 20.
Okay.
20 hit.
And that hits. So roll for damage.
So it's just a straight roll, no do I have any modifiers to the dice?
What are you trying to do?
Oh, for the damage? I guess
I wouldn't. I'm not sure for the firebending attack quite yet.
I couldn't find it, but I'll just go with 2.
Okay. 2 damage.
Yeah.
All right. So you catch him on fire, and the flame. You hit him for 2 damage, and the flame intensifies.
Spies.
And he kind of just starts running around, not sure what to do. All right.
I would actually have a bonus action because it did damage.
Okay.
Extra heat. So yeah, I'll just do 1d4 fire damage because he took. Where'd it plus another 2.
Okay. So
Yeah.
4.
Yeah, 4.
All right, and so he's on fire. So, oh crap. Okay, and so as he's running, the flames overwhelm him, and he falls to the ground flaming, under the flaming costume. All right, so your combat
man.
is now over. So those two are lying on the ground, defeated, as well as the spearman you defeated earlier, and there is the one whose drum was destroyed, lying on the ground, kind of in shock after getting kicked in the face by Naoma.
Oh wait, what? Sorry.
He's in shock.
Yeah, the one you
I am
kicked in the face.
shock. Oh, he's in shock?
Yeah.
He is still alive. You kicked him in the face.
Oh right.
He's
Okay,
not
so
alive
I stomp up towards him. I pick him up by the collar and I tell him, "What the heck is going on?"
He spits in your face and it turns
Oh
to
my-
ice on your cheek.
I super slap him with a wind slap. Like double times, bam, bam, bam. Like on both cheeks and like, how dare you? And then I kick
How
him.
legit. I think of Dragon Ball Z on that one.
And he says, "Do your worst, Airbender."
Oh,
I sort of toss him to the side.
All right, and so you guys see this kind of scuffle going on near Naoma with interacting with this water tribe member that you
Ooh.
recognize from before.
As I drop him to the side, I sort of put my foot on his chest.
Okay, so he's held down. So
Yeah.
so you guys all see Naoma holding this guy down. So what are you guys gonna do?
Takashi just says, "Guess we need to interrogate him to see what's going on."
Okay.
Mhm.
So are you guys gonna all go over there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Gonna bring the spearman with us too.
Okay.
Right. You guys have rope?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Let me see. I don't think.
I do not have rope.
Is that
And
part of
Lee's
the?
kind of looking around like
No.
Lee runs over to Naoma and he kind of gets all up in the guy's face and he says, "What's going on here?" And the guy just kind of looks away and doesn't answer.
So I ask him, "Hey, can you hold him for us, like with your?"
Yeah, and Lee, he kind of steps on the ground and the earth kind of rises up and shackles him to the ground.
Nice, excellent.
All right, so you guys are all kind of standing over this man. He's just kind of looking away, not making eye contact with you all.
Oh,
Who wants to do the honors?
The honors of
interrogation.
Interrogating him.
I look at Naoma as like, where's your other friend?
Oh, you're talking about her twin.
My twin? Well, I have no idea. I think we lost him in the woods somewhere.
Yeah, you guys ran back with Omion, but you guys kind of forgot about him when going through the woods. He probably got lost on his way back. But
He would have.
in the stress of the situation, I think you guys kind of just missed out on, kind of forgot that he was there, and you guys all look around and realize that Omion is not there anymore.
I look around and it's like he would have been the best candidate, but whatever. I walk forward.
Well, Yuki throws in another quote and says to the guy, "Whenever it feels uncomfortable to tell the truth, that's often the most important time to tell it." Jennifer Lopez.
Who are these people?
The guy looks up at you and he says, "Spare me your ramblings, water witch."
She's super offended and slaps him across the face.
Takes another 1D. What's your strength modifier?
Yeah, 2D.
You slap him across the face. I'm assuming not to kill him, but like just to
Slap.
just to,
I was really
just to
offended
slap
at
him.
that. 1 damage.
And he kind of looks up at you and smirks.
He likes it.
So okay, so I take. All right. So is he on the ground or is he on?
He's on the ground. He's the earth. Lee is shackled into the ground.
Okay. So I walk up to him. I lift him up on his collar, and I intimidate him to like give us information.
Okay. So roll for intimidation.
Ooh. Was I not intimidating? With my-
With your clothes. You're Jennifer Lopez.
All right. A dirty 21.
Oh, a dirty 21.
Wow.
Okay.
Ooh,
Uh,
dirty 21.
and so what was your question again?
Like you're gonna tell us everything you know. Like you're gonna tell us what we need to know, kind of situation.
And he
That's
looks
not exactly what I said, but it's like you're gonna give us information. Yeah.
and he looks a little bit nervous, kind of looking at you.
It's the eye patch. It's always the eye patch.
And he says, "What do you want to know, pirate?"
And I look at the group. What do you guys want to know?
What is going on?
Who
What
the
is this
leader is.
ritual?
Who are you working for?
He looks at Yuki and he kind of smirks and he says, "Well, what does it
Ew.
matter? It's already."
I don't like his smirks. Makes me
it's
so
already
mad.
it's already too late. We did our part.
What
That
part?
makes no
are you talking-
sense.
Hmm.
Someone else interrogate.
And he says,
We,
he kind of laughs and he says, "You fools! At this point, the spirit has probably already opened the temple."
What temple?
What?
The pirate.
temple in the town.
What?
Oh yeah.
The whole point of the
Crispy.
reason that you're
Crispy
here.
rolls his eye. His only eye he rolls. It's like
Ugh.
he rolls his eye.
The forgetful old person. And he looks around. He's like, "What is wrong with this one?"
That's why she doesn't even remember her past.
It's okay. She's just like that.
It's
Is-
the fog.
All right, so he's still kind of looking at you guys as Crispy holds him.
Does Lee say anything to the pirate now that they intimidated?
And Lee, upon hearing that, Lee has a kind of look of shock and he sprints off towards the woods.
And I look at the groups like I think we should follow Lee because it looks like he gets himself in more trouble than he's bargained for.
Yeah, Takashi agrees and he says, I think this was a distraction. I think the real sort of plan happened at the temple. We need to hurry.
All right.
And the guy looks at you and he says, "It doesn't matter what you do. You all are no match for Aratok."
Artok? Who is he?
Sounds like a water tribe person.
Can I ask who our talk is?
Well, yeah. So what are you gonna say?
Our talk.
There you go. And
Do I have to roll?
no, you don't have to roll
No,
that.
you don't.
You guys already, Crispy already intimidated him. We can roll if you want.
Oh, never mind.
And he says, Aratok is our Aratok is our leader, the one fated to destroy the Avatar.
We all know what an avatar is in this
Yes,
world. right?
everyone knows
Yes, we do.
That should be common knowledge. In
that.
the,
And
He's like, what's the
What
avatar?
happened?
what's happening? And also pause real quick. One thing I forgot
Oh,
to
it's
mention
hot.
in the recap. So in this kind of setting that we're doing, the previous avatar had passed away a couple years ago. So there should be a new avatar, but they must be relatively young. And so nobody knows who the new avatar is yet.
I think, I remember us talking about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna. He's already tied up, right?
Well, you can. I'm assuming because you said you lifted him up. He was kind of shackled to the ground, but you can put him back down and.
Okay. I slam his face to the ground.
Oh, so you slam his face
Whoa.
onto the ground and knock him out.
Dang.
Exactly.
As a pirate would do.
So you guys all see Crispy kind of
I spit on his
lift him up
face.
and flip him down and throw him at the ground head first, and it knocks him out, and he lies there limp.
I spit on his face after he.
Holy cow! Okay.
Okay.
And you notice, as you guys turn around, you guys notice the rest of the fog had cleared up, and you don't see anybody, but you see a lone drum sitting off far down the beach, the opposite direction, kind of in the direction that Takashi and Crispy had gone towards at the beginning.
Yuki goes to the drum and then tries to play a familiar song.
What's the song sound like?
I thought we broke the drum. Didn't we break the drum?
I
Michelle
think
broke
this
one
is
of
another
the
one.
drums. Remember, you guys didn't go towards the other drum. You guys went just back to Yuki and everyone else.
Okay.
It sounds like an ancient water tribe marching song.
But what does that sound like?
Ba-dum.
But that's what you guys all hear from Yuki. You go up to the
Sounds
drum and
like it came from.
I shake my head in
Ba-dum.
I shake my head in frustration and I just start running back to the forest.
all right. So Crispy is just like, oh, and
Oh,
runs
it
back
sounds
to the
like
forest.
from Coco.
Wow.
Yeah. Takashi head to the forest, the temple too. He just says, "We gotta go."
All right. So you guys, I'm assuming you guys all run back. Yuki, you see everybody running back as you're playing on your drum. Running
Wait, does
back
anything
towards the
happen?
forest.
Do I summon anything?
No.
You gather it
So
with
everyone runs
you,
past you and they're like,
Yuki?
Yuki, come on.
Okay.
Okay, so everybody.
But she keeps the drum.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay, you keep the drum.
Might be useful.
Yeah. Okay. You run
I'll
back.
play in my inventory.
Go for it.
Inventory.
Yes.
You're just gonna put in your backpack.
Keeps the drum.
Yeah. We're going by
Skyrim.
the bag of holding logic now.
Oh.
Holds everything and doesn't matter what's inside.
All right. So you guys run back through the forest and you come back into the courtyard of the temple and you see Lee on the ground. You guys notice a couple things. The stone that had previously been covering the front of the temple seems to have been would it be bended or bent? I was thinking of this earlier today. What's the past tense of bending?
Bent.
Ended?
Like it was bent.
Yeah, is it bended or bent?
Bent.
Bent means it's been
Bent.
bent as in like something has been
Okay,
twisted.
so it would be
Bended
bended.
would make more sense.
No, it was bent.
But did you just miss that conversation?
No, but
Yeah.
wait.
Because bent is the past tense of bend, but in this case,
no, my English degree.
it's different because
Use a different verb.
just to avoid confusion.
I don't think that's correct.
But what if something's bent? Then we'll be like bent, actually bent. We'll be so confused.
I'm bended, unbended knee.
Yeah, but we're talking in the
Who knows
context
that
of
song?
the Avatar version of bend, not the bend in the English language.
A headache.
Bent.
Tell me about it. Okay,
Anyhow.
whatever it is,
Anyway.
bent.
Bended is not even a word. It's not on the dictionary.
Bent. It's bent.
The stone in front of the doorway of the temple had been bended.
Yes.
We'll use both away. No, I know bent is a past tense of bend.
Gotta use the bathroom.
That should be something you should add to the video as a comment. Is it bent or bend?
Oh
be
my
Title.
gosh.
Bent or bended.
Guys, if you're watching this video, put in the comments, is it bent or bended?
I'm pretty sure it's bent,
No.
guys.
What makes more sense, guys? Just put it in the comments. Thank you.
All right.
Oh my god.
Mhm.
So Yuki is just kind of wanders off. I think she has to pee. She kind of wanders back into the forest as you guys run into the courtyard. You see the the door had been bended or bent away, so the temple is open, and you see Lee kind of crouched on the ground, holding. You see Dawn is lying there, seemingly injured, and Lee is kind of tending to his injuries.
I go up to them. It's like, just say, is everything all right?
And Lee kind of is like, no, everything is not all right. And Don is just kind of, he's injured, but he's like, oh, it's okay, I'm okay. And he kind of brushes himself. He kind of painfully gets back up to his feet, and he says, what happened? It was the spirit, but there was a young man, a young waterbender with the spirit, and they entered the temple.
What's the name of the
And he
guy
says, we
again?
have to go after them.
Yeah. Right. Takashi goes in.
All right. So is everybody? Don kind of hobbles his way. Lee kind of helps him stand towards the temple, and you guys are all gonna follow them.
Just for a timeout. It's already close to 11. Is there much more that you want to do, or is there
No, we're getting close to the end.
Okay. I will run with Takashi. He hasn't failed me yet, so I follow Takashi.
You guys are all going in. And Naoma, what about you? Are you gonna follow?
I'll follow as well.
All right. So you guys all follow into the temple. So you enter the temple, and it's a small room. The temple itself isn't very large, but you guys find yourself in a small room lit by a couple torches, and you guys look around, and on the wall you see a mural of a figure, assumingly Avatar One, handing down representations of the four elements to a crowd below. And as you guys also look up at the ceiling, you guys see the symbol on the ceiling that you guys have all received on your bodies. But the weird thing that you see is there is a large symbol in the center of the ceiling, which is surrounded by six smaller of the same symbol, all surrounded this larger symbol. And one other thing you guys notice is Lee is carrying his father ahead of him. You guys notice kind of on his tattered through his tattered shirt, you guys see the same mark on the back of Lee's shoulder. And there is and in the temple, the only other thing you see is there is a kind of an opening in the floor towards the back of the room with a staircase leading down.
Just to clarify, the marking that's on Lee's shoulder is exactly like ours, or is it?
It's the same as was on. Okay, here's everybody who has had the mark. Not Earthling. There is Yuki, Lee, Takashi, Crispy, Naoma, and Omion. And on the one other thing to recap, on the ceiling there is one large symbol surrounded by 6 smaller symbols for 7 symbols in total.
Oh no. I look at Lee, it's like, oh no.
And Lee kind of looks back like, what?
I don't like what this is telling me.
Yuki says, what is it telling you?
He's some kind of chosen one.
Who?
Lee.
Lee says, I don't know what you're talking about. And Dawn says, quickly, you have to follow them down the stairs. That's the only way they could have gone. The artifact is down there.
Let's walk and talk.
Yep.
All right, and Dawn says, it is embarrassing to say this as he looks at Yuki, but he says, I am far too old to be of any use. So you have to go on without me. So Lee says, okay. And he
Why
kind of
Yuki?
down.
What?
Because
Okay.
Yuki is the
What?
only one older than
Okay.
John. So he's a little embarrassed that Yuki is able to help you guys despite her being older than he is.
Okay, that's what you meant. Okay,
He's injured, so
okay.
He tries to encourage him to come though.
And he kind of looks at you and he said, and he kind of like, as he sits down, he kind of grabs her, like, and he says, I'm far too injured to be of any use to you now. I tried to stall them as long as I could, but
Thank
I
you for
couldn't
your
do much.
service.
And he kind of sits down and braces himself against the wall. And Lee says, well, looks like we have to go. And Lee starts walking down the stairs.
Okay.
follow him.
Yes. We go into the deep.
All right. So you guys all follow down the stairs. Then the stairs spiral down for a little bit until you come to the end of, you see an opening and you walk out into a big open chamber, underground chamber. Now the chamber is pretty big. It's probably roughly the size of half a football field. And you see it's open and you see you see on the other end of the room, you see kind of a raised platform, stairs leading up to a raised platform, and a pedestal on the top of the platform. And as you enter the room, you see who you recognize as the young man, the young water tribe water bender that you met in the forest, and also saw playing the stringed instrument, the one that was wearing the crown of coral, lifting a rock off the pedestal, and curled up at his feet is a spirit. Looks kind of like a panda with glowing green eyes.
A panda with glowing green eyes.
Cute.
Is it a fat panda? Well, I mean, pandas are fat by default, but I mean,
It was a
Say that
small
again?
one.
it's like, is it a fit panda or a fat panda? It's like
It's
fat
pretty-
pandas are default.
Aw,
Panda,
I
but
want a
it's-
fat one.
It's kind of ethereal. You can tell that it's a spirit.
Ah,
Because of the green eyes.
Curled up at his feet as he lifts the stone. It just looks like a big rock about the size of your fist as he lifts it off of the off of the pedestal. And as you guys kind of run into the chamber, he looks over and he says, brothers and sisters, you finally made it. I have to say, I'm a little disappointed that it took you so long.
Yuki says it doesn't matter the time it takes to get there, as long as you get there.
And he kind of laughs and he says, the old woman still spouting her nonsense. And you see a kind of a look of disgust appear on his face really quick. And then he kind of,
She
it
looks
kind of goes away
disgusted back at him.
and it turns back into a kind of a big old, like a smile.
Takashi's just gonna call out. He's like, "Drop the artifact."
And he says, "Oh." And he kind of walks by the panda and kind of pets the panda on its head. It panda kind of nuzzles up to him. And he says, "The artifact? This?" And he says, "Do you even know what this is?"
Takashi's gonna pretend that he does. He's like, "Yeah, I do."
And he says, he kind of looks at you and he says, "Oh, really? Well then, enlighten us all." On the artifact.
Can you do a persuasion check?
You want me to?
Okay, yeah, sure. If you want to.
Okay.
oh my gosh.
Okay.
And as you're doing this, he kind of sits on the floor, kind of tossing it up and down next to the panda as the panda kind of cuddles up next to him. He's still kind of petting the spirit panda.
Wait, my character sheet.
Mhm.
7 plus 6. I was actually gonna use. I don't know how we feel, but I was gonna like kind of sneak attack him while talking, but I got a 13
To
persuasion.
attack or to persuade?
Well, to persuade him, but I was kind of like gonna sucker punch him while just like spouting some nonsense, and then
Okay.
just attack.
So while
but-
you're talking, so with the 13, it doesn't really buy it. So you are a bit of a ways from him. He's on the pedestal. So are you trying to like shoot fire at him?
Well, yeah, you said it was like what? He's like half a football.
About
field
half
away?
a football field away.
Half a football field. That's far.
Yeah,
Okay,
he's
so
pretty
yeah,
far.
60 feet.
You can shoot fire at him
Okay, well,
and,
it's not gonna-
and like try to surprise him.
it's not gonna reach him though, right?
How far is your blast?
60 feet.
Oh yeah,
60 feet.
I guess that's not 50 yards, huh?
No.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
yards are different.
yeah, if it's not
That's
close
a
enough,
lot.
Takashi's obviously gonna kind of stall
Sure.
just by kind of just like coming up with some bogus story.
Oh sure. So you're trying to convince him that you know. So he's still looking at you then, and he's
Yeah.
like, well, "Enlighten us then." He kind of sits there, pets the panda, kind of tosses the rock up and down.
Okay, so he's gonna just say like,
And
So-
and you do remember in the stories that you told that these
Yeah.
artifacts are said to be blessed by Avatar Wan, and you did notice in the mural back in the temple that there was that mural of Avatar Wan kind of handing down what looked to be 4 elements to the people.
okay, well, yeah, Takashi's gonna start telling him a story, but hopefully the party kind of knows to kind of like move closer.
Yeah.
But he's just gonna say like, yeah, I heard many stories like throughout my travels. Something about like Avatar One, and that's actually why I came to this village, because of this festival. And then it just keeps
And he's just
trailing
kind
on.
he's kind of listening, and his smile kind of starts to fade as he listens to you talk. And what is everybody else doing as Takashi is kind of chatting?
Am I able to blend into the surroundings so that he can't see me?
No, it's a pretty open
Ah,
room. It's not much but earth and just walls around you.
he's already talking to. There's nothing for me to hide, so
Hmm.
I'm just gonna stay where I am.
Okay.
And I point
Naoma?
my short bow at him.
Okay, so you
I
point.
just
your
point.
bow at him.
I don't shoot. I just point.
Mhm. And he kind of looks at you and then looks back to Takashi as he speaks. So Naoma, anything?
Nothing.
Okay, Naoma's not doing anything. So Takashi's plan of hoping his party moves towards him.
No,
I'm
no.
Oh wait, hold on.
I
Sorry.
moved forward.
Sorry. What?
I'm stalling for time, guys.
Okay. All right. I slowly move towards him.
All right, so Naoma starts walking towards him. Yuki.
Me too.
So Yuki and Naoma start kind of making their way towards him as he listens to Takashi speak. All right,
Gotcha.
and so he's still kind of the young man is still kind of listening and kind of eyeing each one of you, watching Naoma and Yuki as you guys get near him. And he kind of eyes you guys. So now Yuki and Naoma, you guys are about, I'd say, about halfway to him. You're about 25 yards away. So you guys are coming up. Are you guys gonna still keep moving?
I'm gonna. Well, as I walk forward, what do I see? Do I see anything?
You don't see anything different. He's still sitting, cuddling up next to that spirit panda, holding that stone.
I'll just keep on walking forward then.
Okay.
Yeah, same.
So you guys start walking forward. Takashi, you're still kind of just chatting. He's
Yeah.
kind of
Like a really BS story about.
and Crispy, are you still pointing your bow at him?
Yeah.
Okay, and he kind of stops paying attention to, or seems to stop paying attention. You see him kind of move his hand, and you see the kind of moisture in the air form a little stream of water that he kind of plays with and goes in and throughout his fingers. And you guys do notice that as he's breathing, you still see that cold kind of breath come out of him, out of his mouth, though it's not actually cold in the room.
Scary.
And so now Naoma, Yuki, you are about you're about 10 yards away from the kind of altar where he's at.
Hmm.
I'm moving forward still.
All right,
Moving forward.
Yeah.
Yuki looks at Naoma and whispers, "Should we attack it?"
I don't know. We'll just keep on moving forward. It doesn't seem like they're doing any attack of.
Yuki looks at Takashi, trying to see if he can a signal, give a signal, like, what do you want us to do?
Oh man, Takashi's just he wasn't able to walk closer, right? He was just kind of standing there.
Was
My character?
you can walk if you
Okay.
like.
Yeah,
He
try to
hasn't
walk
done
close.
anything. He's just kind of sitting on the ground with this spirit panda, kind of playing with some water, holding the rock.
Okay, because okay, in that I guess amount of time, he tried to get close enough to kind of like sucker punch him with fire.
Okay.
Oh.
So roll to hit.
Yeah. So Takashi's like, so basically, the spirits I was talking to, they told me, and then he attacks.
Wow.
Oh man, come on.
Oh
God,
no.
really bad.
Boom.
8.
All right. So as you're talking, you kind of, and you're walking forward. Everyone's kind of walking forward. You shoot a ball of fire and at him, trying to sucker punch in your story, and he creates a veil of water and just kind of dissipates your fireball. And then the panda kind of looks up, the spirit kind of looks up, and he's like, and so Arataki the guy kind of stands up and he stands up and he's like, all right, and he kind of stretches. And as he stretches, you guys notice on his stomach, his shirt kind of comes up, and you guys notice on his stomach and a mark similar to the ones that you guys have on your body as well.
Oh man.
So notice
Crispy puts out, he is a fat panda.
and
Nice.
and noticeably his mark is a lot larger than the rest of yours.
It's like the ceiling.
And he stands up and he says, I've grown tired of your ramblings. And he says, this, and he kind of starts pacing and talking. And he says, this is an artifact blessed by Avatar 1. And he spits on the ground and the ice, and the spit turns to ice. And he says, one of the few things the Avatar has ever done for us. and he says, if you don't know what this is, I guess allow me to show you. So he stands up, and you guys all see him holding on to the artifact. You see him take an earthbender stance, and you see him reach his hands to the ceiling and spread, and you see the earth on the ceiling above split open, kind of exposing the night air and the night sky to you guys. So the earth above you is kind of split apart, and it seems that he has used earth bending to open the ceiling up of the room.
Oh man.
Oh,
I'm
man.
just kind of shocked.
I am shocked as well.
Takashi's gonna try to attack him again.
Okay. Roll to You know what? Actually,
Yeah.
I think this would be a good place to pause and
Yeah.
continue from next time.
Okay.
Yay!
Very good.
Nice.
All right. Good job, everybody.
Good job, everyone. Oh, Lou, want to do the outro?
Please like, comment, and subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you could hear more adventures of us flailing around and banging drums and trying to bend things and having bad dice rolls. We'll see you next time.
All of those.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.